Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September 28th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Sure. Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Rebecca McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? Okay, we're going to entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, minutes are approved. All right, now we'll go on to department head reports, and we do have a request from Chief Batts to go first this week. Sorry, Chief Morgan. He's got an online class to be at, so Chief Batts for the fire department.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 130 emergency calls of service. We have logged 232 hours of training, performed 44 commercial inspections, and participated in one public education event. During the month of September, we finished our annual fire hose testing. All hose was tested to NFPA 1962 guidelines. This is a yearly process we do to test all the hose and make sure that it can work under high pressure conditions. Starting tonight and running the next 7 weeks, myself, Deputy Chief Robert Wiry, and Lieutenants Jason Adams, Jason Hendricks, and Matt Young will be taking Fire Officer 3. This is an administrative level state certification that's not offered very often, so we wanted to take the opportunity and take the class. It's a long, drawn-out process, but looking forward to getting that in the books. So I'll have to be cutting short some of my Monday evenings because that's our online portion. I would also like to request the board's permission tonight to open up an application process. We are currently fully staffed, but all of our hiring processes have expired. So we need to develop a new list for any impending departures or retirements. So I'd like to request the board's permission at this time to open that up.
Any questions or concerns from Chief on that?
No concerns.
Okay, would entertain the motion to allow the fire department to begin a, how'd you phrase it, an employment pool?
So move.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And that's all I have for this evening.
All right, thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. And next up is Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 593 calls for service. A total of 19 people were arrested for the following crimes: 1 for intimidation, 4 for operating while intoxicated, 5 for possession of meth, 4 for battery, 1 for disorderly conduct, 1 for theft, 1 for possession of a syringe, and 2 were wanted on warrants. In that same time, 20 handgun carry licenses were sent on to the state for final approval. September 21st through the 25th, Detective Spencer and Detective Nelson attended the homicide investigation school put on by IMPD. September 26th, Sergeant Fuston completed 2 modules of online training. The first one was for dealing with stress. The second one was for understanding and responding to excited delirium calls. September 26th and 27th, Officer Austin Scott attended Gabe White's class for pistol shooting solutions. This class was held at our range and sponsored by us, so Officer Scott got to go for free. We have about 25 policies left to go through with Lexapol, Judge McClure. And then we're hoping to get them out to the officers sometime mid-October, and we're going to put them out a little bit at a time because each officer will be tested on the ones that we give them. So we're looking at maybe 5 at a time, and then the officers have to read them and get tested so that we can say they know the policies. That's all I have.
Yep. Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up, Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening.
Splash pad is now closed for the season. We closed it up last weekend due to the cooler temperatures. I had a great season at both the water park and the splash pad. We also ended up winterizing today, so it is all buttoned up, ready for the season to start next year, ready for the warm weather after today. Maintenance on Memorial Park sidewalks is nearing completion. We'll be repairing the sidewalks from Meridian Street to Ulen entrance in the last phase of the project. That'll happen over the next course of the next 2 weeks. We also poured a cement floor on the maintenance barn, completing our last barn to have a concrete floor. Have no idea. We've had concrete floors, I think 3 in the last 5-6 years. Finally got the last one concrete, and it's really nice to walk on pavement instead of dirt and everything else. Just can't tell you the improvements we have down there. Makes morale very nice, to say the least. We just installed a new rope playground structure at Memorial Park. It's assembled with a foundation poured. We'll be filling the ADA compliant playground mulch this week. We will be able to open it up on Friday after everything is settled and the concrete's cured. So everybody looking forward to that. Been down there a couple times, and the kiddos are ready to go. It's pretty tall too. Looks kind of intimidating to an old dude like me, but kids aren't intimidated. They're ready to go for it. We will be clearing out beds throughout the parks downtown. Gene Haas will be doing that and replacing the facade at Memorial Park. This will happen over the course of the next few weeks. Everything's starting to turn fall. I think we have a frost coming this week, so cover your plants, and also we'll be cleaning those up. With the days getting shorter, we'll be closing the conservation pond at 7 o'clock. Thanks again to retired Chief Ted Caldwell for helping us out open and close that. It's open 7 days a week. We're getting a lot of people out this year, obviously, with what's going on with COVID. It's really helped to have some out for everybody. Thanks to the street department coming out the last week, helping us paint all the crosswalks leading into the park and also in the park. Also for repairing the storm inlet at Memorial Park there on the grounds. Appreciate all their help. They did a nice job. We have a couple nice programs coming up in the month of October. Pickleball tournament is on Saturday, October 10th, starting at 9 a.m. Please stop into the park office to register or call 482-8860. There'll be 2 age groups, 55 and 54, 55 and older, and then 54 and younger. Those will be the 2 age groups, unisex, or however you want to team up. If you get registered pretty soon here in the next few days, you'll be able to have matching shirts with your teammates. So that is part of the entry fee. Pumpkins in the Park, one of our big events coming up in Saturday, October 24th from 11 to 2. Come out to Memorial Park for hay rides, s'mores, pumpkin painting, kettle corn, hot cider, some of the best stuff around. Also want to mention every Saturday at 11 o'clock at Abner Longley Park at the corner of our nature center in the northern corner. We have an RC park, and the guys get together. I think there's about 7 or 8. They'd love to invite anybody else to come. A lot of hard work went into that, real nice course, and people really enjoy. For those of you that don't know what RC course is, it's the little electric cars that go up and down, and these guys really get into it. All ages, doesn't matter what your age is, but they meet down there at 11 on Saturdays. However, the course is open park hours, so if you'd like to enjoy that.
Where's it at again, John?
At the Nature Center at Abner Longley, just go around the splash pad, park there at the parking there in front of the splash pad, and bring your cars on back. There's a little trail to go back there. We'll have signage coming soon, but as far as that, it's very popular. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Any questions for John from the board? Go ahead,
I don't have a question, I just got a kind of a comment that I would like for John and to get with Ed at the utilities and try to work out their Christmas setup plan this year, so we can get it up a little earlier than we did last year.
Will do.
You know, so they can start thinking about it now.
Sure will.
So,
Okay.
all I'm just mentioning.
Will do.
Any other questions for John from the board? Anything from the public? Yep, thanks, sir. Next up, Engineering Department, Kevin Kulik.
Thank
Mayor and board members. Engineering update for September 28th. Gosh, I can't believe it's almost October, but here we are. Couple of quick updates on downtown. Downtown project, the light pole bases on Meridian Street and State Road 39 came in a couple weeks ago and were installed week before last. So those are now complete. The additional shrubs and trees that are due on warranty replacements are supposed to be pulled out of the ground this week and be here sometime later in the week. Assuming everything goes to plan at the nursery, we should see the last of our landscaping going in the ground, and that'll complete that. And then coming up next week, we are scheduled to resurface the sidewalk in front of the Pythias Hall building. That's in front of the Lacey Boggs Optometry Office and St. Adrian's Meats. So that will be done October 5th, 6th, and 7th. And we're working on just coordinating that with the owners and the residents that live above those buildings. We'll be bringing in basically an aluminum ramp to get those people across the sidewalk as it's refinished. Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2, all work is completed and accepted. Final closeout change orders have been delivered from the state. It's approximately $76,000. We knew that was coming. That is our total bill. That's about 20% of the total cost. That is exactly 20% of the total cost that was incurred on the project in terms of change orders and additional work. Primarily, the additional work was associated with just unforeseen conditions. We had a bridge on the project that we didn't know was there, some other unsuitable soils and conditions that required some rework and some rethinking of the original design. And so our portion is $76,000, well within what we were expecting and what we have put back for the project. So that will wrap up Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2. Pavement resurfacing projects, really we're done at this point. We are just trying to close out the project with NDOT. All of our final bills have been paid now, and we're just getting ready to file our final closeout paperwork. Happy to report, as I mentioned last time, though, that the community crossing program round 2 has been opened up. It opened up on Friday, closes on October 23rd, and we are going through our pavement asset management plan right now to be ready to submit projects for that. I will say the total project listing per our asset management plan was just over $1 million for 2021. So we're looking at that right now and seeing what we can fit into budget. There is some budget constraints obviously next year, and we're trying to adjust that as we move forward. But it actually doesn't look that bleak. We actually look to be in pretty good shape. We look to finishing this year with probably about $200,000 left in our 2020 budget. And then there's approximately $237,000 in local road and streets and $750,000 in MVH for next year. So you put those together and we're over $1.2 million possibly for street resurfacing work next year, and that fits right within our pavement asset management plan. So more work to be done, more information to come as we dig into the details of that and see what we want to submit for community crossing. But we are hopeful that we would be successful in street resurfacing funds for community crossings as well. Keep in mind, we also will be submitting the Whit Road Bridge. So there's be an interesting year for community crossings or an interesting grant cycle, I should say. Keep in mind that anything that doesn't get approved, there will be another cycle in January, and we'll be ready to turn those things around for the January community crossing cycle if we're not successful in the fall. State Road 32 resurfacing, the striping is essentially complete. Final touches are being wrapped up this week, and that should complete that project for the state. Sidewalk replacement programs, quick updates there. Really pleased with Joe Wilson, our contractor, on the Lafayette Avenue sidewalks. All that work was completed last week, so we now have walks from Camp Street, where they currently ended at the intersection of Camp and Lafayette Avenue. The walks go all the way north and tie into the existing sidewalks at Clear Vista Subdivision. So all those are in, poured, complete. We'll just be working the next few days to get those backfilled and seeded. We will then move, we're not done with sidewalk projects for this year. We're going to look at the intersection of Camp and Garfield, where we have the temporary traffic delineators there. We're going to go ahead and redo the sidewalks and add some curbs there to where those traffic delineators are and get that intersection cleaned up. That is scheduled to happen later in the month of October during the fall break week. Keep in mind that we've still had a really successful cost share program this year. We've had over 15 applications filed. We have 5 now pending for next year because we ran out of money for 2021, and they'll be at the top of the list when we come into 2022's budget cycle. Whit Road Bridge, I mentioned that earlier. The plans are 75% complete. We're working through all of our permitting issues at this point. Our right-of-way engineering is also done, and we're moving on to appraisals and buying for those right-of-way needs to accommodate that bridge. This will also be a community crossing project. We anticipate the budget for the bridge is just about $800,000, so we're going to be submitting for 50% of that from community crossings. So roughly $400,000 will come from that. Big Four Trail expansion, soil boring for pavement assets are underway at this point, and as soon as we have more information from the consultant, we'll get that back to you. Grant Street, the contractor did complete some temporary asphalt patching last week and is working on reseeding some of those areas that are in front yards along that stretch where we did the storm sewer project. The county has also notified us that they're going to move forward with bidding yet this fall for Bridge 311, which is the William Street Bridge. And they anticipate construction in June of 2021. So after school gets out, they will plan to be reconstructing the deck of that bridge next June. So we had hoped to do some additional pavement patching associated with our storm sewer project, but we're going to let the temporary patches go as they are now because that entire intersection will be resurfaced with the bridge project. Fordyce Road, Baker Tilly has delivered some financial advice for how to fund the Fordyce Road project, primarily from stormwater funds and stormwater revenues. It most likely will require a bond, but we're depending on them to make those detailed recommendations to City Council before we move forward. We've also got some financial recommendations from Baker Tilly on the street garage, the street and stormwater garage. So all those things need to be considered as we go into fall at this point and making decisions for which projects we will tackle next year. Keep in mind, we are anticipating to start construction on Fordyce Road in the spring of 2022. So we'll have basically the next year for right-of-way acquisitions and wrapping up design and being ready to go to bid that spring of 2022. Approximately a $4 million project. The bike park, we've officially announced the project on all of our social media channels. We've put out a press release to all of our print and television and radio media partners. We have also distributed our final concept plan. We have also published on YouTube an introductory video that we put together. And last but certainly not least, Steve Matus, the national president of NICA, the National Interscholastic Cycling Association, was in town 2 weeks ago. Him and myself and Joe LePage sat down for a podcast interview, and that is also now live. So we're really excited that we've wrapped up that concept plan, wrapped up the agreement with NICA, moving those things forward. I really appreciate everyone's support. We've still got a lot of work ahead of us. We're working through drainage designs on that, working with Boone County, as well as working with the Trophy Club, our neighbor there to the east, and making sure that we're not adversely affecting any drainage. And just excited to move forward. Keep in mind, due to item constraints associated with the landfill and some of the NICA venue coordination, but the bulk of this was due to item constraints. That project budget has grown a little bit since we last discussed. It's at just shy of $1.3 million, But we are working now that we've got this full boat of press releases and site videos and the agreement with NICA. We are full speed ahead on our fundraising for the project. Happy to report just last week, we got a call from a contractor that wants to bring us the dirt and the crushed asphalt, the asphalt millings that will build the project. So that really negates most of that IDEM requirements that they put upon us. So it's about a $500,000, in-kind donation to the park. Again, not official, can't name names at this point, but it seems really promising. And so with that, it drops the total project budget to just over $700,000. There is a phasing capability within that. So the minimum first phase to be NICA ready for hosting races would be just over $500,000. So we're working forward on that. And again, we're not done fundraising. We're also working with the Parks Department and the Planning Department to amend our park and our bike and ped master plans, just to mention the bike parks, so they are included in all of our planning documents. Regional detention, also a good couple of weeks on that, which may be another possible source for earthwork if the contractor issue would fall through. But Project Isle is now moving forward, and that will prompt the completion of the middle pond, the pond that was started in association with the Ken's Foods project. A couple other project notes. Sunbrook and Sunbrook Villas, the Villas earthwork is nearing completion. They are then moving from the villas to Sunbrook Section 2, expected to be starting that immediately and rolling right into that. We've seen an unprecedented need for residential lots, so they can't build them fast enough, and they are, accelerating those projects as we speak. Gateway Marketplace, I did get notice last week that the developer is ready to execute the agreement with NDOT that will allow the stoplights to go up at the intersection with Ping. I expect that to be executed this week. No word yet from NDOT when they will actually allow us to put the lights up and turn them on, but that was an important step on getting the developer on board. Road impact fee study. We have now finalized our advisory committee that will be meeting in the next couple of months to wrap up that project. The land use plan has now also been finalized, so everything's full speed ahead with the analysis and getting us to a road impact fee study and a road impact fee ordinance early in 2021. And then last but certainly not least, just to report that, our new engineering department public works inspector and MS4 coordinator Scott Calvert started on the 14th. It's been great. He's jumped in with both feet. He is diving into stacks and stacks of MS4 documentation and really just doing a good job at getting his feet in there and his hands around that, as well as then the inspections that are increasing with some of the work in Auburn Meadows Section 3, as well as the Sunbrook Villas and Sunbrook Section 2. So we're keeping him real busy and real excited to have the help there. And that's all I have.
That's all? Okay. Any other questions for Kevin from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you for the update. Always a lot of good stuff there.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. Planning Department report for this evening. We continue to remain busy as we're going into the fall season here. Completed another 50 building inspections over the last couple of weeks, and 38 permits were issued, including a couple of new single-family home permits, so that continues to be a strong activity there. On code enforcement, as I mentioned, actually it's been a month ago since I was here last, we do now have a second person in our code enforcement staff, Matt Reynolds, who I talked about a month ago. He's been really, again, speaking of jumping in 2 feet with 2 feet, like Kevin mentioned on his side, Matt's done the same. Really stepped up our operations and code enforcement, allowing us to handle additional volume and then also making us more efficient procedurally, so that's been really great. We are also working with our legal team to just kind of firm up some of our procedures and just kind of button down some things related to taking items to court and how that works and how we implement additional fines and fees as those things go forward if people aren't responding to our requests. So those are things that are ongoing that are going to make us much more efficient and effective in the future. As I mentioned, Matt has filled that assistant planner position, and we did just hire a few weeks ago our second building inspector position. Skip Hart came over from the county, and he had already been doing some work for us as our Gary was out on vacation, so he's very familiar with our processes and procedures. Stepped right in, has been doing inspection for us, and at the same time still helping the county out until they get their position filled. So we're real happy to have him on board as well. And so I think at this point now, we're in a really good position to be able to respond to what I expect to be a pretty solid uptick in activity as we go into the 2021 season with some additional residential neighborhoods and commercial development that's coming on board. So glad to have those two guys on board, really going to help us out in the long term. In terms of on the development side, I know Kevin mentioned some that are under development. Just on the planning side, we do have a residential neighborhood that's going to be on the council's agenda this evening for a PUD rezone. And that neighborhood's called Cedar Ridge, and it's by Fisher Homes. And they're looking at a property on East Washington Street, kind of sandwiched there between Edgewood to the west and then Morningside to the north. It's about 115 lots. Be a really nice neighborhood, good addition to the community. Excited to see Fisher Homes take some interest here and move forward with a project like that. So that will be the first reading of the PUD ordinance will be heard tonight, and then in a couple weeks it'll come back for second reading and potential adoption of that ordinance. My understanding is they'll be moving forward full steam ahead on a lot of the infrastructure and earthwork that's going to be necessary, in hopes to having homes ready for construction and for new homeowners sometime this time next year. So a lot of work still to do on that one, but they're definitely moving forward, very excited. So that's all I got for this evening.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. And next up, Street and Stormwater Permit, Dave Newell.
Good evening again. Let's see, we've done a lot of hydro vacuuming with our machine over on Lafayette Avenue for the new sidewalks going in. There's a lot of fiber optic gas stuff, so we did some we can do that without putting shovels in the ground, without cutting stuff. So we did that for help out our contractor over there to get them rolling. That went up pretty quick. That was a good project. We did finish up the mowing maybe one more time, but hopefully this is it down Paraworth Road and Annapolis Road this week. Took care of that. We're getting ready to start trimming some low-hanging limbs for our leaf machines, plow trucks, plus some we've gotten from the bus garage this year. So getting ready to start doing that. That way our trucks don't get tore up this winter and our leaf machines don't get tore up picking up leaves. Trying to get all of our storm repairs wrapped up for the season, so getting ready for leaf season, obviously. So those are winding down. We received our new backhoe on Friday. It was a John Deere 310 SL, so that's comforting because the other one was down. So that way if we have a problem in the middle of the night, we don't have a problem now. So we've always ran two, we were just down to one. But we got that problem rectified. We received 2 of our new leaf machines on Friday and then 2 more today, so we're ready to go there too. So I think one of them was a 95, if that tells you anything. I got it on a grant years ago.
Got 4 machines now?
Yeah, we've always had 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've always had 4. They were just not, we just need to replace them, so that's taken care of. Let's see, we want to remind everybody that fall cleanup dates are Friday, October 2nd, Saturday, October 3rd, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days. Once again, the residents just need to unload their stuff as we're still in the COVID situations. You know, we'll help them out as much as we can, but we'd like them to load their stuff.
Hey, Dave, I'm sorry. Can you say October 2nd and 3rd?
Yep.
And then what were the times on that?
7 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Rain or shine, don't matter.
Yep.
So if you got something to get rid of, bring it in. As long as it's not hazardous material, stuff like that, for everything else we take. I know we get a lot of questions about refrigerators, washer and dryers, bring it, we take it. So we have a LTAP class Wednesday, I believe it is, for a chainsaw training class, a free class they offered us. So we invited the Parks Department. We're all going to do that together, get some training for our guys, learn some things, I hope, all of us. And, we're wrapping up the season right now with trying to use some of our money we got left over with, we're going to do our own crack sealing. We've hired some out, but we're going to try to do it ourselves. Just the money's ridiculous how cheap you can do it yourself. So we're about ready to tackle that project. About 17 streets we're going to do. So
Okay.
should be able to do it. But that's about all we're wrapping up with that I know of so far.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave from the board?
Yeah, Dave, can you give me the serial numbers and model on the new leafing machines?
Yeah, once we get it all, I was waiting on the paperwork today, so once we get it, I'll give it to you, because I gotta get the old ones out of our insurance, the new ones in. But yeah, we'll make sure you get it.
Okay, thanks.
You need it on the backhoe too?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Anything from the public? Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
And I don't think, communications and community development. Pinch hitting for Joe LePage is Kevin Krulik.
Thank you. Sitting in for Joe, I do have his report, communications report, update on Summerfest. So Summerfest has been delayed a couple of times, and due to budget constraints for 2021, the decision has been made to cancel Summerfest for this year and it to be held in 2021 so that we can have it better fit within budget. So it was originally scheduled for October 25th. Just want everyone to know that Summerfest concert downtown has now been canceled and will be rescheduled for sometime in June of 2021. Joe also wanted me to update you on the Indiana Arts Commission. He's been working with the Arts Commission on the creation of a cultural district, and this is really about the goal of adding more art to the community, creating more creative activities for artists and budding artists around the community, as well as filling some vacant storefronts with art projects. There was a grant applied for, and happy to report that that was awarded to the city. And so the city's support team meets with the commission in early November. If you are interested in participating in that support team, please contact Joe. That's joe.lepage@lebanon.in.gov. And then Joe also wanted me to update everyone on the new look of the water tower. Go. Oh. Less glare if I pan out there. So some of you may have seen the new water tower going in near, or not new water tower, excuse me, the new paint on the water tower near Busby Street. Joe would like to thank Ryan Ottinger and the Water and Wastewater Operations Manager and that department for coordinating with us on this. The new colors on the water tower, the new font on the water tower matches our branding guide. It matches the branding guide that set the slogan, "This is home." This color scheme follows the colors of the Lebanon logo. And the font, as I mentioned, is also the same font that is used in all of our branding guide information. So we just want to thank everyone and thank Lebanon Utilities for helping us to unify that vision and to let everyone know that Lebanon is a great place to call home and a great place to live, work, and play. And that's all I have from Joe.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Any questions for Kevin for Joe? Anything from the public? Okay, thanks, sir. That concludes department head reports. First up is old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board?
No.
Okay, move on to new business then. First item up is a downtown street closure request from the Heart of Lebanon. Missy Kulik.
Hello, Missy Krulik from the Heart of Lebanon. I'm here tonight to ask for street closure for the 2020 Oktoberfest in October, presented by the Heart of Lebanon and State Bank of Liston. It's a Bavarian-themed beer fest. Participants can come and enjoy the music from Indie Polka Motion and Jane Bond and the Pink Martinis. They can buy their tickets in advance for $5, which includes a plastic stein, or they can purchase for $20 a Bavarian package, which includes a Bavarian hat, a pin, a stein, and entry into the event. That is the online prices. At the gate, the day of the event, it's $10, and that does include a stein. As you know, we postponed this event from August. We are limiting the entry into the with the amount of space that we have. And you can go to the Heart of Lebanon's Facebook page on our event page to get the link to purchase your tickets. So purchase your tickets in advance in order to get your spot inside the event. We are committed to making this a safe event. Please wear your mask to the event and leave it on until you have your food and drink or are in your designated area. As always, don't attend the event if you are feeling unwell or have had contact with someone who was tested positive for COVID. We are kind of treating this like it's an outdoor event, but it's kind of restaurant style. Like if you would, when you go to a restaurant, you leave your mask on until you get to your table. And then when you get up from your table, you put your mask on. So that's kind of how we're treating the event. We've been working with the health department and thinking it over a lot and trying to still have this event for the community. We think it's important and it's a fun event. We, of course, want to thank all of our sponsors and the CVB for providing the stage and the music for the event. And also the city departments for helping us with some of the logistics that we need for the events. So on to street closure. Make sure I have that facing the right way.
And Misty, before you go on to that, I missed the date of the event.
I didn't get a date either.
I missed the date of the event too, didn't I? It's October 10th
Okay.
from 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Thank you for
Yep.
that. Okay, so street closure. What I'm asking for, the stage is going to be located right here in that intersection. So I need from that intersection to the alley on East Main Street, just right after the city parking lot, closure at 11:30. And
In the
then-
morning, 11:30 in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a while to set up the big stage.
Yeah, they request the street closure at 11:30 for the
Okay.
stage setup. And then this section of Meridian Street from Washington to Main and Main Street from Lebanon to Meridian Street. Closure at 2 p.m. for the rest of the setup.
All right, so to confirm, so it's the intersection at Meridian and Main Street, east to the alley on Main Street at 11:30?
Yes.
Okay. And then the rest of it from, and then are you going all the way to South Street or just to the alley on, is there anything on South Meridian?
No, we're not doing South Meridian, we're just doing North Meridian
Okay.
and Main, because the stage is facing
Gotcha, okay.
towards the courthouse.
Okay. This is the same setup we did last year, right? Pretty much?
It is, pretty
Yep.
much, yeah. We're utilizing a little bit of East Main Street for some staging of a few things, but
Okay.
Pretty
You
much.
sure you don't need that half a block there on Meridian from Main to going south?
My
And it just give you
concern is
more room
just-
to stage stuff, and it's up to you. I just think you probably want it.
I mean, people won't be able to drive through it anyway, so.
Yeah.
We could at least close at the alley.
Okay.
That work?
Yeah,
if you're willing to give me more, I'm willing to take more.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think it'd be easier for you.
Yeah, once there's a stage there, it doesn't really matter, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, that works.
Okay. Any anything else, Missy? Is that includes the whole closure there? Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions
Oh,
from?
until, I should tell you what time until.
Yes, yep.
Till 11 p.m.
11 p.m. Okay. Any questions on that? Here, I'll try to make the motion here for everybody, and then we can say, so moved. So we entertain a motion to approve the downtown street closure request on October 10th on Main Street from the intersection of Main, thank you for putting the map up, on West Main Street at the intersection of West Main and North Meridian, to the alley on East Main Street from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m., as well as the closure of West Main Street to the alley on East Main Street, as well as North Meridian Street from Washington Street to the alley on South Meridian Street from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., as well as authorizing the Heart of Lebanon to provide alcoholic beverages on city right-of-way in that area. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
I second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, that closure and alcohol request is approved. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Missy. Anything else? Just a reminder, so October 10th from 5 to 10 p.m.
How much are the tickets though?
How much are the tickets?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you buy them online before the event, they're $5 and you get a plastic stein. If you buy them at the gate, they're $10 with a plastic stein. But since we're limiting the number of people in the event, I would suggest buying your tickets online.
What is the
What's
capacity? What is the capacity?
Yeah,
We're doing 350.
350.
350. Okay.
You also had a package that you could purchase?
Yes, we have a $20 package that includes a Bavarian hat, a pin, a stein, and entry.
Okay.
So if you want to get into the
Really into
Bavarian
the theme.
theme.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Missy. All right, next up is a surplus item request from the Lebanon Police Department, Chief Morgan and Bill, I guess. Chief, I'll let you talk about what we're surplusing here.
Okay, we're going to surplus two vehicles, 2014 Ford Explorer and a 2010 Mercury Grand Prix, or Grand Marquis, I'm sorry.
Yes. Paperwork's all filled out. Enterprise has been advised. Estimated value has been obtained, and we're ready to go.
What was the year on the Grand Marquis?
2010.
2010.
Is this the last vehicle that's before I graduated college? 2012?
I
Not
can't guarantee
Not
that.
quite?
No,
Okay, we're-
I think we have two more.
I think we do.
Getting there.
We do.
Getting there. All right. Any questions for Chief or Bill on the surplus request? Okay, we entertain a motion to declare the 2014 Ford Explorer and the 2010 Grand Marquis as surplus.
I make a motion, we declare surplus the 2014 Ford Explorer and the 2010 Mercury Marquis.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, those are declared surplus. And thank you, Chief. Thank you, Bill. Next up is the acceptance of right-of-way dedication concerning Elmwood. Kevin Krulik.
Thank you. This goes back, nearly 2 years. This has to do with the Elmwood neighborhood annexation. The annexation has long since been finalized, but part of that annexation process required them to dedicate new right-of-way for Elmwood Drive through the neighborhood. So that entire right-of-way area was surveyed. We did a route survey to create right-of-way parcels, and then we created, with the help of our legal staff, have created right-of-way deeds dedicating that right-of-way, as well as agreements for the dedication of that right-of-way. All those have now been executed by the owners of Elmwood, and they are ready for your acceptance. So what I'm requesting tonight is that you accept the dedication of the Elmwood Drive right-of-way through the Elmwood neighborhood, and that will put that project behind us.
Okay. And this is just to clarify for everybody at home, this is just in case we ever need to do any improvements to the Elmwood Drive or add sidewalk, something like that. That's the purpose of it, so.
Exactly.
Any questions for Kevin concerning that?
I got one.
You go ahead and move.
You will be making sure they get recorded at the county office?
Yes, we will be recording them. One request while you are all here, in the conference room of the planning department, we have all of those documents laid out so that you can systematically go one by one around the table and sign all 22 documents. So there are 22 deeds, and we need a signature from the mayor and every Board of Work member. And I understand if some of you have to leave right after the meeting, that's fine. We will track you down and get those signatures so that we can get them recorded.
Okay.
Okay, so don't hurry out of here. Any other questions? Okay, then at this time, I would entertain a motion to accept the right-of-way dedications in the Elmwood subdivision.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, that right-of-way is accepted. And last but not least here, this is from me. This is our annual designation of trick-or-treating hours. Obviously, this year's been a little different, so I will say that if anybody is uncomfortable participating in trick-or-treating this year, whether adult or child, we recommend as a city that you do not participate. Obviously, leaving your porch light is the most common way to indicate that you're not participating. But for those that do want to participate, my thought is that we have our standard trick-or-treating hours from 6 to 9 p.m. on October 31st, which is a Saturday this year. So I know this. There's a lot of discussion, a lot of potentially concern with this. Again, I think there are ways to make it safe, and I think it's up to all of us to be vigilant about safety procedures and things like that. And I think our county, you look at our cases, we've been doing a good job of that recently. And obviously where we will be in a month from now is hopefully in better shape as well too. So that's my thought on setting the hours, but I'm open for discussion from the board if any of you have any questions or concerns.
My only thoughts are, I think we ought to go ahead and, you leave it up to the parents to decide.
Yep.
And those that are not, the household, whether they participate or not.
It's not a mandatory event, right?
Yeah.
If you
Let them decide.
If you feel unsafe
Yeah.
or uncomfortable doing it, then just choose not to participate.
We've dropped enough things this year that
Yep.
I just think it's time we.
I would agree.
Say.
Is there any public comment concerning this discussion? Thumbs up in the back. Okay, then with this, I would entertain a motion to set the Halloween trick-or-treating hours from 6 to 9 p.m. on October 31st.
I'll make a motion, we approve the trick-or-treat night, October 30th, from 6 to 9 p.m.
October 31st?
31st, I'm sorry.
Yep.
31st.
Second.
For October 31st, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the trick-or-treat hours will go on as planned. Okay, that concludes my new business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, we'll move on to claims then. Would entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
I think it's Judge McClure. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Our claims are approved. And any announcements or discussion?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. The city council meeting will begin at 7:15. Thanks for watching.